we'll discuss about why we use SAP CI, why we need to learn, and overview of BTP and integration suite capabilities. What is integration suite and about its capabilities, and cloud integration, iFlows, message mappings, adapters, and API management. SAP API management is one more service. This is one of the service in integration suite and current demand of CA. Okay. So right now, earlier SAP, we have SAP PIPO systems are there, that is on-premise systems. Uh, it is those PIPO systems is a middleware systems. So earlier this PIPO system, what it will do is it will transform the messages and it will pick the message, transform that message, and send it to the target systems. So now CI comes into the picture. It is a cloud version. So SAP CPI, its full form is Cloud Platform Integration. Now it's renamed to CI, Cloud Integration. Okay. The CI is a SaaS solution, software as a service. SAP provides this service to the developers. We need to develop an interface or iFlow. Why we need to develop an interface is, if there is a requirement like, if the source system is sending a message to target, their systems have their own APIs. They can pass the data directly. But one system have maintained the data in one way and other system maintain the data in a different data formats. Like system A maintains the data in XML and system B maintains the data in JSON. And if there is a possibility that if system A transforms the data by its own and send it to target system, then there is no issue. We no need to use SAP CA. If there is a transformation, for example, system A maintains the data with a different field names like first name, last name, ID, employee ID, like that. But the target system has a different field names like given name, employee ID as only ID, like that they may maintain. So in that cases, source system can't transform that values or transform the payloads. In such scenarios, CPI comes into the picture where it will pick the data from source and transforms the message, transform the data in the sense, for example, system A maintains the date of birth of a employee in DDMM format. But target system wants that same employee record with the date of birth format as YYYMMDD, let's say, in that format. So in this scenario, source system can't transform the date because they maintain in a different way. So in that case, we will pick the data like we will generate a API in CA. We will generate a API, and that API source system will call that API. They will send the data to CPI. We will transform the message. Let's say a date. We transform the date and send that message to target system. It's like a middleware. CPI acts as a middleware to pick the data and transform the message and pass the message to target system. Okay. This is the transform. Mainly we use CA for message transformations. Data format like XML to JSON, EDA to JSON, JSON to XML. We are converting that formats, XML formats, SOAP, iDocs. There are different different data formats. We can transform that and send it to target. Even a file based, like we are picking a file from the server, from the source side, and transforming that file into a XML and sending that to a target. So in this way, we will transform the message and pass it to the target systems. Okay. So earlier we used SAP PIPO. This is also XSI message transformation. We use this PIPO system to transform the messages and send it to the target system. This SAP PIPO is a on-premise system, and SAP CPI is a cloud version. It will also work for on-premise systems. We can also send the message to on-premise. That means which is not hosted in cloud. Okay. So we got to know that SAP PIPO will be deprecated by 2030 soon. SAP only informed. So all the old projects, whatever the interfaces that developed in PIPO are migrated to CPI. So there are a lot of projects are there. All are migrating to CPI. So now so much work in CPI, especially because we need to develop the interfaces for the old, for old projects. That is one thing. And there are other middleware systems are there like MuleSoft and BizTalk, Telboomi. You know, all are all are also migrated to SAP CPI because of some more advanced features in SAP CPI. Like we have predefined interfaces, predefined packages. We have SAP support. If there is any issue, we can reach out to SAP. And we know SAP. It's a global one. Even everyone is using SAP. Even if we shift to other company also, they will also use the same technology, CP as a SaaS solution. So once we learn the CI, even when we shift to other company also, we can leverage it. And we have to support S4HANA cloud projects where on-prem middleware cannot be used, replace PIPO, reduce cost and effort to build the integrations from the scratch because we already have integrations with SuccessFactors. And there are some SAP products, SAP SuccessFactors or SAP Concur, Ariba. We have predefined integrations. We can simply copy it and integrate two systems. Okay. So before developing an iFlow or interface, that means connecting two systems, we need to create an iFlow. That I will tell you what iFlow means, integration flow means. Okay. So to develop an iFlow, we need to know about SAP BTP. BTP is a business technology platform. It is also a SaaS solution. It has multiple services, not only for SAP CI, even for S4HANA developers will also consume some services in BTP to develop a Fiori applications in SAP. Okay, there are a lot of services in BTP. In that, integration suite is one of the service we need to subscribe. It's a subscription based one. In the real-time projects, one company will subscribe to SAP CPI by paid. There are some paid versions. If we want to increase the virtual memory, we need to pay some more amount. Okay. During the training session, we will use a trial account. Has 80 to 90%. All the features are there, but every 90 days we need to renew it. Like it will expire. So in the BTP, we need to subscribe to the integration suite to see this application integration suite. This is the one of the service we need to subscribe to develop the iFlows. You click on that integration suite link. This is a web page. Build integration scenarios, manage APIs. All these are capabilities or services. We won't use all these services. We will use build integration scenarios. This is the one service we will use. Manage APIs. This is a different service for API management, and Open Connect is one of the service. Out of 5, we will only use 3. Those are important. As I said, iFlow looks like this. These iFlows are graphical models that define how data moves between systems. Okay, in SAP CPA. In this example, we have palette functions like predefined functionality. Like if we want to convert JSON to XML, we no need to write any code. We can just drag that function into this integration process and map it. Like just connect to the sender to start to this palette function. This is content modifier. That means it modifies the content and map this to end. From here, end to receiver. It's like a drag and drop. Drag the functions, palette functions, transform it, depends upon the requirement, and pass that message to target. This is the iFlow, integration flow. We can also trace it. In this example, it's only one palette function, one content modifier. In the real-time scenario, it can be, there are a lot of palette functions are there. We'll use the palette functions depends upon the requirement. Okay. Once we add step by step, we can also trace it how this palette function transforms the message. Okay. You can design iFlows using web-based editor. This is a website. We can log in the Chrome by going through that link, that is BTP trial account link. We can log in. We can create an account, and once we go through this link, you see, once we subscribe it, and after that, we will see this page. After that, can create this iFlow. In this iFlow, a lot of steps are there. Mapping, for example, source fields are different and target fields are different. In that case, we will use message mapping, routing based on conditions. Like if sender system is sending a message, and if we want to send the same message to two different systems, that same message, we can route it like if the system based on the identifier, like if it is a system B, we can route it to system B. Our system C, you can route the message to system C. We can send that message to multiple systems. And we have predefined pre-built iFlows where we can copy it and configure it. We no need to develop the iFlow. We can just configure it. Configure it in the sense, generally when we are connecting to a different system, we need URLs, API URLs and credentials, right? Okay, URL is different, API is different. We need a API and credentials that will be provided by source team or sender team. Receiver team will provide those details. We can connect it using connectors. Connectors are there. You see sender to start, there is one HTTPS connector. In that connectors, we will add the address, credentials to send the message to target systems. We can also test it. We have test tab in the CPI. You can test. There's no heavy coding, as I said. We will use only Groovy script. Why that too? If we can't transform the message using the existing palette functions in the iFlow in the CPI, in that case only we will use Groovy script. If we can achieve it using palette functions, we call palette functions. That means it has some functionality like transforming the message. Like for example, content modifies the content. Converters, message mapping is one of the palette function. It has some own functionality. And exceptions are processed. That is one of the palette function. Catches the exception handling, routing for route the message. That is one palette function. So like this, there are different palette functions have their own functionality. Okay. So message mapping, if you see this is the left side is a source structure, customer ID, first name, last name. And the target system wants the data in this format, client ID, given name, family name, contact, email. So in this scenario, we can't send this source message directly to target because target system won't understand this message. Because in target system, they written the code like client ID, given name. So we have to transform this source message into target message using a message mapping palette function. And after that, we can send it to target. So this is how we transform. You can create mappings. It's a drag and drop. Inside the mapping, there are some more functions. Node functions are there. Date transfers will be there. Constants we can add. That's about mapping. Adapters, I said, when we are connecting to third-party cloud applications, we will use HTTP adapters. If we are connecting to SAP systems, if the message is so, we will use SOAP adapters. If the message is IDOC, so depends upon the message. Especially when we are connecting to SAP systems, we will mostly use IDOC, SOAP, and HTTPS. And SFTP when we are picking up the files from the servers. In that scenarios, we use SFTP JMS adapters for reprocessing the message. Like if the target system is down and we need to reprocess the message. If the target system is down, source system can't send the same message again. In that scenario, we need to reprocess the message. And that option is also there. That reprocessing mechanism, we can do it using JMS. And API management, here this is a different module, I would say, not CPI. We will create APIs in the API management, SAP API management, to call the SAP APIs. Generally, SAP won't allow third-party applications to call the SAP APIs directly because of some security reasons. They can't. Generally, we don't expose SAP APIs. We have a standard APIs that will be provided by SAP to post invoices, journal entries, uh, you know, sales orders. We have some standard APIs. We don't need to develop any code from SAP side. We can simply activate that SOAP service or OData APIs. We can activate that OData APIs in SAP system, especially is activating the SOAP services are basis activities. Okay. Once the SOAP service is activated, we will get a SOAP API, and we can use that API to post the journal entries. We don't need to develop any code in SAP. Those are standard APIs. Okay. In this API manage, yes.
Yeah, in the API management, it will be in details we learn here, or just the overview of the.
API management, what it will do is, we will configure the target API, target system API in the SAP API management, and it will generate one more API. If you see in this image, this is host alias API proxy URL is there. SAP API management will generate this proxy URL, and internally in the target endpoint we will connect to SAP, so that third-party applications will directly consume this API, call this API to get the information from SAP, or post any information from SAP. And we will use SAP APF to control the traffic. For example, at a time, if multiple calls are coming to SAP, it will, it's a load balancer issue. Some issues will occur. If all the server issues will be there, right? It will be there, right? If we call the APIs, if multiple calls are coming to one system, there will be a load on that server. To avoid that, we can control the traffic management. Like for every minute, we will allow only 5 or 6 calls. We can add that limit, and there are a lot of policies in SAP API management to control this. We are not transforming like CPI. We just control the calls, and mostly we will use this API management if third party application is connecting to SAP CPI and there is no transformation required. In that scenario, so we will use this API management. Yeah.
So will it learn here, or just theoretical or practical also?
Which one, API management or CPI?
Yes, it is. Yes. No, that is third party scenarios from SAP to third party scenario.
Yes.
How API will use here.
See, third party application means it can be a Postman. You're aware of Postman, right? We will use Postman to test the APIs. We can also connect to the target endpoint to SAP NetWeaver, some North. We have OData APIs where we can use the trial OData APIs, and we can create this APIs in the API management. It's all practical, no theoretical work.